All right, we are live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I am Dash Attack, and I'm here with the man himself, the inadvertent catalyst of Gamergate 2, Kabrutus. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Sup,
Oh, oh,
guys? Have a good
oh!
night.
I got some
And
echo.
hmm?
Oh, sorry, I got some echo.
I got what?
No, I had the stream on in another tab, so I'm sorry if I cut you off.
Sure. It's all right, bro. Yo, guys, good night, and thank you for the invitation, Mr. Dash.
You're
Glad to be
welcome.
here.
Yep, I wanted you on like all the way back in April when all this started,
Mhm.
and so I'm finally glad to get you on now. I know you're a really big Halo fan, as am I. Just practically grew up on Halo.
Hmm, that's awesome. How old are you again?
I am 32. I know I'm really old.
No. Actually, I am just 1 year older than you. So I'm
Really?
33. I didn't grow up on Halo because Halo was never a thing in Brazil. So I get to know. Yeah, I grew up in Brazil. For those who don't know, um, so I just had the opportunity to try a Halo game when I was already, I don't know, 25 years old, something like
Ah,
this.
yeah, it was like me
So
with the Kingdom Hearts franchise. I got
mm,
on late. Hey,
yeah, uh, so but I mean, better later than never, right? I mean, I think it wasn't a big issue because the advantage, the bright side of getting to a franchise so late is that no once you are mature and adult, you can understand things better. So
oh
yeah, I mean,
yeah, most
I don't.
definitely. I
Yeah.
a lot of things like when I was young, like that I liked, I didn't really fully understand or appreciate them until I was much older.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I mean, because we are just a bunch of kids.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so I do have like a couple of stories, but we'll definitely be talking about a lot of fun things like Halo, games we're looking forward to, just kind of all the crazy stuff that's happened
Hmm.
this year,
Hmm.
just like the state of gaming in general.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
like what you were saying about like getting into franchises late. There's so many franchises I want to like, get into. I want to play more of the older Fallout games. I want
Mm.
to get try Legacy of Kain and StarCraft.
Oh,
These are
StarCraft is it's one of my favorite ever. I played StarCraft so much when I was younger. Wow, man, like a lot. I even tried to be a competitive player at some time. But yeah, I mean, it's
yeah,
an
I'm
amazing
thinking
game.
about picking that up at some point. My backlog for this channel is immense. You would not believe me.
Just just make sure you play StarCraft 1 with the Brood War expansion. There's a remaster for it on Blizzard Launcher on
Yeah,
PC.
I think that's the only place you can get it other than I think they just added those games to Xbox Game
The
Pass,
Game
which I
Pass,
don't have.
yes, they did.
But yeah, if you have Game Pass, it's there. So I'm going to go over to one of the stories that caught my attention. So as my country is going crazy after the election.
Hmm. Yeah, I can
So
tell.
yeah, so I think this person well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know him very well, but this guy or girl, I have no idea. He's been sharing and talking shit about me for a long time. I just ignore him because that's what I do, you
Yeah,
know.
I've gone into some fights with him too. Like he's from what
Ah,
I hear and from what Grum says, he's like an Antifa type of guy. And also I've seen this like really weird picture of him with a COVID mask and some lotion. So I just think he's also really creepy.
mhm. I mean, for me, in my opinion, the best thing to do against those kind of people, no, unless they do something that really is threatening to you. For example, I don't know, doxing you or trying to make bad things happen to you, menacing your physical integrity. Other than that, I would just say just ignore those
Yeah.
fuckers. They are not worth my time. They are not worth your
Oh
time.
yeah,
You
like
are much better than
especially
that.
when his entire account is basically just like, getting starting fights with people he disagrees with
Yeah,
ideologically. But
so,
I just want to look at the irony of him tweeting this thing from the Wolfenstein 2 marketing campaign. Like, I'd argue that Wolfenstein 2 kind of killed the franchise.
make America. Oh, I just seen this. Make America Nazi free
This was
again.
2017.
2017. I mean, Trump has. Oh shit! This is. This is.
Yeah,
Wow. The
well,
state
no,
of the
like
game.
the
I
marketing
didn't know about that. I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, the marketing campaign for Wolfenstein 2 was like, they really capitalized on Trump's presidency and the incident in Charlottesville. I'm not sure if you know anything about that, but there was this whole thing about a Confederate general of Robert E. Lee, a Civil War general. And then, there were a bunch of white supremacists that were at that thing, and some things Trump said were taken out of context. They tried to paint it like he was pro-Nazi or something.
Yeah, like always. That's what
Yeah, and so the Wolfenstein 2 marketing campaign completely seized on all that with quotes like "these are not fine people" and shit like that. It's so they really politicized the fuck out of Wolfenstein 2, and I hear it really wasn't that good a game compared to the previous Wolfenstein game.
Yeah. I played Wolfenstein: The New Order and Wolfenstein Old Blood, which were the previous two game before this one.
Yeah, I hear those were great. I played.
They are pretty good, bro. They are pretty good. But this one, just so you know, you have a black woman with the black power hair, and she is throwing, she's talking feminist bullshit. For example, when BJ Blazkowicz said that they were talking about another woman, he said, "Oh, she was tough. She had balls." Because I mean, just to try to say how much courageous she was and everything. And then she said, "Why does it need to have balls in order to be, tough?" This kind of bullshit.
Wow, so lame, so lame.
And she was publicly breastfeeding a baby in front of BJ Blazkowicz while smoking a cigar. And one of the heroes of the game is a full crazy Marxist, and he's a hero. He's a good character. I mean, come on, man. I mean, really, wow. Fucking Marxist.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
No, bro.
It's crazy. And then they had that follow-up game with the two girls. Nobody really played it. I hear.
Oh, that young blood. That young blood is even worse, man.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So yeah, and then since then there really has, outside of references in the new Doom Doom reboot series, there hasn't really been anything Wolfenstein since those games. So I just think it's irony that that this dude is retweeting some thing from what I consider a failed marketing campaign to try and gin up real world controversy to boost their sales on a game that most people really like. Wolfenstein is pretty badass. I played the original. I played Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein's a pretty awesome series with a lot of weird science and supernatural stuff into it. And yeah, it's always good killing Nazis, but they really drove that part home. Hey, in this game, you get to kill Nazis. You get to kill Nazis. You get to kill Nazis. And they just say it over and over again. That was how they marketed that game.
It felt like, they actually wanted to say, in this game, you kill Nazis, which are the same as, I don't know, Trump supporters or right-wingers.
Exactly.
But since they couldn't say that, they just went, repeating the same thing over and over again. And I think that this is very unfortunate because, like you said, Wolfenstein is an amazing franchise. Doom, on the other hand, has been treated so well by ID Software itself. The problem with those Wolfenstein games is that they are not being made by ID Software. They are licensed to Machine Games from, I think, from Sweden. So,
yeah, they're the people making the new Indiana Jones game, which I already told myself I'm going to be playing for the channel since, I did pass on the Veilguard.
Oh, yeah. So, you did good, man. You did good.
Yeah. After covering Dustborn, I'm nah, I'm not paying $70 or $50 for this. I'm just gonna go play the old game. And that ended up being a good decision. In fact, after our panel with Endymion, where I met you,
Mhm.
that's when I guess I decided I was going to play the Origins. Like I think that really motivated me to like start really playing Origins. Like just hearing you guys talk about the lore and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I have yet to. No, I mean, Dragon Age Veilguard is I'm playing it just for the sake of reviewing it, but yeah, it's my first Dragon Age game. I feel like I will give a chance to probably Origins. Yes, after that one.
this is the other thing that just really caught my attention today is this announcement by GOG that they're like reformatting a bunch of older games to be compatible with modern hardware, which is like one of the biggest problems when buying an old PC game is will it run properly?
Um, Actually, GOG have been, I mean, some people are hearing about this for the first time ever, but GOG has been, restoring older games and making they run better in modern platforms for some time now. I mean, this is not new, but this what is new about this is actually the program. I mean, of course they are. I mean, of course you can see this as also as a some kind of marketing, because we just had that decision that they decide to shut down the initiative to preserve games, the digital library of games that they were trying to make to preserve. And now GOG, is stepping up and say, hey, don't worry, guys, we will preserve. I guarantee that I will preserve. And now they have created this badge, that the commitment for the games to be truly yours and run forever in modern systems. I think that this is a great move by GOG. Great move by
Oh
GOG.
yeah, absolutely. It certainly got me more interested in possibly like checking out their library again,
Me
and
too.
I'm hoping Steam copies them. I do hope.
Yeah, I do too. That's what competition brings, right? Competition. That's why important. A competition free market is so important, because you have
Absolutely.
two platforms competing for the consumers, the gamers' preference, and they try their best. They try, and I don't know if you. I mean, do you want? Can I say some opinions about Epic Store?
Oh yeah, oh yo, shit on Epic all you want. You're preaching to the choir.
Okay.
Go for it,
So
man.
I mean, I mean, I just released a video talking about this. I mean, I released it like 15 minutes ago. A video talking about this, and I'm just gonna say what I said there. Okay, so Epic needs to take a look at this and observe, and see the gamers' reaction, the positivity it brings towards the GOG platform, though, and just wonder, what are we doing wrong? Because Epic is one of the most, if not the most hated platform out there, and that's because in order to grow, they are trying to get an audience of their own, for themselves, and they try to do it just by trying to sabotage Steam. I mean, you know how long Kingdom Hearts franchise took to arrive on Steam because of
Yep.
Epic Games, right? And Alan Wake 2. I don't feel like we need Alan Wake 2 in Steam, but yeah, it is another example
Well,
of.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
already
mm,
I'm actually a really big Alan Wake fan, so I did
mhm,
finally get the physical because it did come to physical, even knowing about the Sweet Baby connections.
mhm.
But yeah, like I hope Remedy, if they ever make an Alan Wake 3, that they don't go through Epic, because I'm pretty sure they were just like awful to work with, that they're probably responsible for skipping physical in the first place, and they're the reason why the game hasn't made a profit.
Yeah, and also, I mean, that game is not on Steam to this date because of Epic. Epic tries to grow in this market only by sabotaging Steam. That's what they try to do, like all the time, non-stop. You know, I mean, take a look at what GOG does. GOG brings something that Steam doesn't. and that's how they try to. I mean, I'm 100% sure that people who cares about game preservation and classic games, PC classic games, those old school MS-DOS games, MS-DOS games, they will download GOG and have it on their PC. I mean, maybe, even if it's just for buying a game here and there, but hey, that's something. That's something. Talking about myself, I hate downloading these extras launchers. I think that every PC gamer does hate downloading extra launchers just for playing a game. But you know what? I downloaded GOG, because of this. Not only because of this, but I bought like 5 or 6 games on GOG already, and I've been buying games on Steam only for the past, I don't know, like many years, on PC. So that's something. That's how you get an audience for yourself. That's how you get on the positive side of the gamers.
Yeah, definitely. Because I love going back to older games. I love learning game history and stuff, and catching up on stuff I might have missed. Like maybe stuff I didn't give a chance, stuff that came out before I was like old enough to play it. All right, here's a I'm sure you've heard about this. I did a I know how you feel about adult content, and we're not gonna but I do believe what the Nier creator is talking about with these credit card companies kind of imposing Western values onto like Japanese businesses is just terrible.
Yeah, actually, this is the first time I'm hearing about this, to be honest. I'm just reading this headline.
Yeah, so I'll catch you up. So
okay,
there was a Ken Akamatsu had this this library for out of print manga. Some of that manga was adult in nature, and so these credit card companies are like, oh, we don't want this. Take it off your platform, or you can't use, or we won't do business or transfer service. So they just decided to shut down the entire store.
I'm Terry. Well, okay, so this is how can I call it? This they are trying to impose their own morals on different cultures. That's how I see it. For example, I lived in Japan, you know about that, right? And yeah, I'm not a big fan of hentai or this kind of stuff, and I have yet to get started on, for example, the Nier franchise. I have both games, but I didn't play yet. I have played Nier Automata for like, I don't know, 5 hours, but I didn't finish it. I still on Xbox. I still have to get back on it. Nonetheless, I think that this is lame, man. What is the free speech? It is not pornography, and even if it was, that's why you have the PG, the rates, right?
You have a rating system.
Yeah,
it's illegal, I think, for people who are underage to purchase this sort of content. So there's a trust system in place. Yeah, but it's just like
are those platforms
well, I don't really know what type of content was being sold exactly, so I don't know if it had any of very controversial stuff that we in the West would not like. I know that's another can of worms debate, and I know people with different opinions on that. I'm personally I'm not big on the whole lowly thing. I just think it's very iffy, but it's a very big contentious debate, especially in the anime community about that in particular.
Yeah, and we've seen they try to censor anime so much especially in the past recent years.
Oh, right? Yeah, even just adult characters.
Yes. I know.
I'm a big Sonic fan, and recently in the new remaster, they covered up Rouge the Bat slightly.
I've seen
it, and they find their age rating didn't change. like, like what changed was like, like the companies and the ESRB. Like it's ridiculous. Like the character has had a very consistent look for a long time. And like I just like, it was noticeable and it showed. And Rouge is also a very, very popular character within like, Sonic fans. So like, yeah, I just the idea that like, and then you had like all these crazy people, like, when you notice these things, they shame you, they call you a pervert, and it's just like they're so lame.
I mean, they are bullies. I mean, they have never been like real nerds. They have never been like people who really
for
like
sure.
nerd culture. People who really like video games, animes, this kind of stuff. So I mean, they just like it now. I mean, they pretend, at least they say that they like this kind of stuff now because because it became mainstream.
Yep, there's a lot of people like that. Like the same thing with like Warhammer and like a bunch of other like franchises. Like, they see something getting popular Steam, they go, "Oh, I'm a fan. I'm a fan."
Yeah.
Like and then they don't care when like these things start getting like sanitized beyond like recognition. They're like, "Oh, it's okay. That didn't actually matter. No, this didn't matter either, nor that." And then like they completely fundamentally change the franchise, like what happened with Star Wars. Yeah. Were you a Star Wars fan, man?
Okay, to be honest, I have never been a huge Star Wars fan myself. There are some things about Star Wars that I do like. For example, the Mandalorians. I used to like the Mandalorians way before the series, because I have a comic book since I was like just a little kid.
Oh yeah, I never read a lot of those old Dark Horse comics, but they
look really
good.
Dark Horse, bro, it's amazing. It's a comic book talking about the war, the confrontation between the Mandalorians and the Jedis.
Yeah, that's old Republic lore.
Yeah, and it was amazing. For example, I really like. Do you know that game, Star Wars game called Republic Commando? I love that game. By the way.
Oh yeah, I've played that. Yeah, the clones are like my favorite faction in like all of. Yeah, it's just
Star Wars universe. I mean, yeah. So this is the what I like about Star Wars. But if you go to Jedi, Siths, the Force, and this is boring, my opinion. I like the shooting. I like the soldiers, badass space soldiers.
I
that's
see.
what I like.
Yeah, well, I was me being like, the 2000s. I was like, really like the whole Sith and Jedi because it was all edgy and stuff. Like the Sith, like like they're like the original edgelords. They're just like all dark and angry and lightning and yeah, it's a shame. Like Star Wars used to be one of my favorite like Western properties like out there before like Disney like
Have you ever heard the word of Warhammer 40K? That's, if you like Star Wars, that's what you should.
Yeah, I have tried to get into a 40K. It's just the lore is just so immense, but I did enjoy the hell out of Space Marine 2, and I do have a small collection of Tyranids.
Oh, okay. So I have an army. All right.
Yeah, I know a lot about the Tyranid lore, like not so much about like the other armies.
So like the Tyranids. If you like the Tyranids, you were talking about StarCraft, right?
Yeah.
And StarCraft is heavily inspired, no, not to mention copied, on Warhammer 40K. And if you really like Tyranids, you're gonna love the Zergs, man. The Zergs are
looking forward to
StarCraft are just let me know when you play StarCraft and let me know what you think about the Zergs.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're gonna love them.
I'll try and get to it sometime in 2025, hopefully. Yeah, it should be fun. I suck at RTS games though, but
Mhm.
Hopefully, I'll power through it, man, just for the lore and for the story and for the universe.
Yeah, do it, man. It's an amazing game. It really is.
Yeah. So my friend Chaser is hopefully going to be coming in a bit. Don't know when he's going to be popping in. In the meantime, I can find is there anything you'd like to talk about? Like anything that's like really catching your interest, like as far as the gaming sphere right now?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, I just posted about. If you go to on my X, you can see
Oh,
that I just
okay.
you can see that I just posted about the change. I mean, looks like it was a change. I don't know. The regarding the Dragon Quest, the upcoming Dragon Quest remake. Take a look if you
Oh,
may.
oh, yeah. So I'll get that on screen share right now.
Hmm.
Okay, so where's the post?
I think it's the latest one. I just.
Okay, so this one right here. Are you happy with your choice? You would play as a hero with the appearance A and a heroine with the appearance B.
Hmm.
That's so awkwardly worded.
But I mean, I see this as a. I mean, I just know mentioned in my post. I see this in my, I see this as a perhaps a small victory. That's how I see it, because at least they are acknowledging that it's male and female in the
Oh,
end, and
good point. I mean, like, hey, baby steps. Things gotta like get better on
yeah,
their own.
and also, let's not forget that we had that. I mean, you probably saw it, no, at the time,
Oh
no, we
yeah,
had the
the
interview.
interview. Yes, I have a preserved copy of it in one of my videos.
Yeah,
That was
so
wild, man. That was freaking wild.
and after that interview went viral in the West, we're seeing this for the first time. I would not be surprised if this is a consequence of that interview going viral.
If it is, that's a good thing.
I think so. That's why I call this, I mean, that's why I said that in some, consider the context, I would call this a win because, I mean, I think that is probably caused by that. I really do. I really do.
I think you might be right.
Hmm.
People really like to hate on like Square Enix, but they don't really like point out that they literally just got a new CEO. I don't know where he stands on DEI. I know when he was asked about Sweet Baby Inc., he dodged the question. And I do know like Square Enix was one of the first companies to pull their name from the Sweet Baby website. I just don't think like, they're as woke as like Capcom, despite all the pride iconography their Western division puts out. I just
Mm,
think like Capcom's output has kind of gotten like really bad, and like they've kind of been butchering a lot of their older games like Apollo Justice and Dead Rising. Yeah,
Apollo.
I know like they both have issues. I get it. I might be a
Mm,
little biased just because
mhm,
I like Square Enix like games more, but
mhm,
you know, I just I don't know. Capcom really like pissed me off with that Dead Rising shit.
mm. I remember, yeah, I even made a video talking about it. They changed what's the name of that character again? That butcher character.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
forget
changed
the butcher's
him
name.
from.
They
Yeah, I
changed him.
forgot. Yeah, I forgot it too. He was a crazy
Larry,
Chinese.
yeah, it was
Larry.
like
Yeah,
Larry.
Larry.
Yeah, his name was
I'm not
Larry.
sure. Oh, okay then.
Larry Wong or something. He even has a Chinese last name.
Yeah, So I mean, for some reason, no, it's offensive,
Oh yeah,
and
well, part of the reason was they outsourced this remake to a Chinese developer. There's also that.
but the Chinese developers, I mean, they are not Chinese people in general, and I can talk about this, especially after living in Japan, because I befriended so many Chinese people over there. They didn't seem. I mean, they don't seem to care about those kind of bullshit. Like progressive, being offended, yada yada yada. They're not like that at all.
Yeah. I
You
know
know.
that, like, I was figured that was more done for the government than it was for the Chinese people. Maybe, I
Mm.
don't know. Maybe that was a Capcom decision. It's hard to say, but they changed like more than that. Like, they also removed, like, the word communist from Cliff the Vietnam vet. And that was like a
Um,
whole big part of his backstory, was that he was in Vietnam having
mm,
like a Vietnam flashback in a mall full of zombies because his family just got eaten.
mhm.
That was like really important to his character.
I mean, that's interesting. I mean, I didn't play. I mean, I gotta be honest, man. I never,
Oh, you never played the original Dead Rising? You should, man. You
dude.
should. It is.
I never played any Dead Rising game. It never, drawn my attention. This
Oh, the
franchise,
Dead
to be honest.
Rising games are like really politically incorrect and like super
Hmm.
super funny. Like, just play the first three. Okay, like, I know people say like three was when it was starting to get like downhill and casualized, but four was the one that killed the series. So, but I there were parts of three I liked personally. So I'd say like you can three, but just one and two are the best.
Dead Rising 4 is the one who went out
Oh yeah, they
exclusively on
cut major.
Xbox,
Yeah,
right?
um Dead Rising 3 was Xbox exclusive. Dead Rising 4 was multi-plat.
Oh, sorry. So it was the third one. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And actually the original was originally exclusive to Xbox 360 before getting like remastered to other platforms. Like
Hmm.
an actual remaster where they had made actual real improvements, like fixing the text issue with the HD TVs. Like a lot of the text was so small if you played it on a regular TV on the 360, and they fixed that issue in the actual remastered version, not the deluxe super duper ultra remastered Capcom tried to sell this piece of shit as.
You know what? After Capcom released this new Deluxe remaster, that's how they call it, right? I went and bought myself the original remastered version because I'm afraid of them taking those out of
Good call.
Steam. So I just bought it because I know that when I finally decide to play Dead Rising, I don't want to play the bullshit censored
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
I want
definitely.
to play. I want to play the original one.
Yeah, that first remaster is way more faithful, and I mean, and it doesn't fix like everything. The survivor AI is still jack shit, and you're still going to get PTSD by the
Hmm.
convicts in the park with the machine gun.
Hmm.
They are going to kill you over and over again, especially at low level. Oh man, there are memes about those convicts. Just you know, people will just play the theme music, and I'm like, PTSD kicks in.
Well, I mean,
Oh, Dead
but
Rising.
I like playing. I like playing older games. I mean, I like when they remaster the old games and older games. Just they increase the resolution and they put in some quality of life features. That's, I mean, for example, in this one, you said that they increased the text size, right? So
Yeah,
I think I think that's the best way to get started in the franchise. So if I decide to play it, finally play it, because there are always those franchises that are very well known and we know about them for a long time, but we never actually stopped. Okay, so let's see what this is about. No, I never. There are a bunch of franchises. I'm sure that the guys in the chat and have franchises like this. I have myself too some. So you're reading the chats. Okay, Dead Rising. Sorry, what did you say?
oh yeah, Dead Rising. It was more of a demake because they changed so much. It's so
Mm.
true. They even
Hmm.
like they took out like like Frank got extra points for taking like sexy shot of females, and like they completely removed that.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. It was funny. It was funny.
Oh,
They
the Deluxe remaster. Yeah, yeah, I remember. No, you had the missions that you could
yeah,
earn. What is the name of the points? If you
erotica points.
erotica points. Yes, yes, that's true.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
it was
he's
always
no
so
more.
funny.
It's gone, right?
Yeah,
Because of
like when they first announced it, I've said like keeping erotica would be the big test to see like if this remaster will be, and then the moment I heard that was gone, I had lost all faith that yeah, this is no longer Dead Rising. Dead Rising is was never like a very politically correct series. It's full of stereotypes. It's full of like white dude like gun southern stereotypes. It also had like in the second game there's literally a zombie civil rights group protesting for undead rights. It's called Cure.
that's amazing, by the way. I mean, how
Yeah,
can I Japanese? I mean, unless it's developed by a Western side of Capcom, but how can Japanese make so many good puns and jokes regarding Western, especially more specifically American society? That's
well,
that's
the
that's
funny thing
wonderful.
is the first game was made by Mega Man, the original Mega Man creator in Japan, and they just
Mm.
like, they just put in stuff like, what they thought America was like, to try and appeal to like this was when Capcom was trying to appeal to Western audiences by actually just going full Western, like,
Mm.
full Western culture. So like big mall, like lots of shopping and
Yeah,
yeah, so
that's exactly how
you,
Brazil is actually too.
So like, they put a bunch of like and like even the name Frank West is like he's literally Frank.
West. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so like and then
Actually,
yeah,
now that you mention it, I never thought about this. I never looked at this with this perspective. Now, Frank West, that makes a lot of sense now that you say it.
yeah, so like, they were very and then like the second game was made in part by Canadians but with help from the Japanese. So they it was like kind of like a spoof on Las Vegas, and there was a
Hmm.
lot of like like it made fun of liberals, it made fun of conservatives. Like there are literally like a bunch of rednecks that from the dialogue it implies they were hunting illegal aliens at one point. Then they came to Fortune City to hunt survivors, and like they literally like quote George Bush, if you're with us you're against us. So like there was like fun. They were just having like fun all around with that. And like the third game, like all the psychopaths are like references to the seven deadly sins. There's a one where you have to help a gay guy get a bunch of male zombies like in bed for like a shoot. It's like ridiculous, like the shit that would never be able to do. And it was like, it's so like, I knew like I was not sure if Capcom could do Dead Rising, like, in the same spirit as those older games. And like this remake just proved my point that if they made it Dead Rising 5, it would just be as sucky as Dead Rising 4.
Hmm.
Hey, how's it going?
No. Oh, yo. I mean, you have. I see where you're coming from, and lots of people say that Capcom is paving a dangerous path. Let's put it that way, right? And well, I mean, I don't see it like that. For example, I don't think that Capcom is woke, at least not yet. But I can see that, yeah, if they decide to make, if they decide to bring a new Dead Rising, I wouldn't bet that it would be, as politically incorrect as the previous ones. And the same goes for example, Rockstar and the next GTA game. I mean, I have zero doubts that the next GTA game is gonna be way more sanitized compared to the previous ones. I've never been a fan of GTA myself. I
Yeah,
never finished a
neither.
single GTA game ever. I have
Same.
zero interest.
I,
I have zero
I
interest in GTA, bro. But I know that it is very politically incorrect. I know. Everybody knows that, right?
yeah.
So no, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's the market how it is right
Yeah,
now,
the
and I
market
think
and the
that,
times.
yeah, the times. So Capcom doing this, we need to remember that Capcom, I mean, like 90, I would say 90, 80% of Capcom sales are in the West, the
Yeah,
United
like,
States.
big with Resident Evil and Monster Hunter. Like that's really like their bread and butter at this point is those two franchises.
Also, no, also Street Fighter.
Oh yes, oh, cannot forget about Street Fighter. Like,
Yeah,
that's one of those. Like Street Fighter 6 sold really, really well.
for a fighting game, bro, that is awesome. And I mean, I play a lot of it. I mean, I love Street Fighter 6, by the way. And if you
Yeah,
note, if you take a closer look, you'll see that all of these franchises, all the the most successful launches, were all games that were appealing way more to the western side of the market than the eastern.
yeah.
Though I lived in Japan again. I mean, I'm never get tired of saying that I lived in Japan. This is quite an accomplishment for me, personally. But I mean, I've seen for myself that Monster Hunter is absolutely fucking huge over there, bro. It's by far the most popular Capcom franchise right now. I mean, yeah. I mean, in terms of sales, it's definitely Monster Hunter, even bigger than Street Fighter, because Street Fighter as a fighting game, you'll have a bunch of people that still play the older versions. They don't even care about buying the new ones. So that happens a lot with fighting games. You can still, I mean, as a Brazilian, I know tons of King of Fighters players, and most of them still play King of Fighters 2002 and King of Fighters 98. So that happens with fighting games. But in terms of sales, yeah, Monster Hunter is absolutely huge. I remember eating sushis in the sushi roll, and they gave me small stickers of Monster Hunters. Monster Hunter small stickers. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not
that's
kidding, bro.
cute.
Yeah. I mean, it's so, but still, when they decided to finally open to westernize, let's put it that way, right? Monster Hunter franchise, it was Monster Hunter World. Well, it is just the best selling game of all time, Capcom's
Yeah.
history. And we're talking about a company that has, I know, like 40 years of history. Capcom has been around releasing the most, influential and creating, pioneering gaming genres
Oh yeah, of course. They
since
have
the
so many
80s.
bangers.
Dude, since the 80s, yeah, since the Nintendo, the first Nintendo console times, like Mega Man, during
Yeah.
those times, right? Then we had Mega Man X in the Super Nintendo. What about Resident Evil on PlayStation? Street Fighter 2, bro. Street Fighter 2 is to this date the biggest, strongest fever in the gaming history, period.
Yeah,
I
like,
mean,
they keep re-releasing it. I mean, Street Fighter 2 like made the franchise.
so yeah, we are saying that after they finally decided to open up to the Western audience, to westernize a little bit more, one of their main franchises that has been around, I don't know, for 20 plus years, which is Monster Hunter. At the very moment they decided to do it, they have now their most top selling game ever. And I'll tell you what, Dash, I think that Monster Hunter Wild is going to sell even more.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have
Yeah.
absolutely no doubt. Monster Hunter Wilds, like I heard like the demo like broke like didn't it like people were pointing out how it outdid like the Concord beta. But I mean not or something. It was competing against something woke. I forget what it was.
Well, I'm just trying to say all of that. I'm sorry for all this speech, but in the end, I'm just trying to say that Capcom now needs the Western market.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
why
Another
they will
problem.
sanitize, a little bit, of their products. And by the way, Capcom became, like last year, Capcom became the top one Japanese game developers. The market share right now is like above $1 billion for the first time ever.
Oh wow, I did not know this.
Yeah, I mean, it's
to what
working for them. I mean, we can't deny that.
Yeah, to what you're saying about like, like another thing is like the habits of Japanese. I have not like been or lived in Japan, but I do know that like, a lot of them have really moved on to like mobile games and stuff. And like, it's because it's convenient for them to play like before work and stuff. And a lot of them don't really have like time to like sit down and play a console.
Yeah, dude. I remember when I used to get the train, the metro, in Japan, like every day, because I was going to Japanese school in Tokyo, bro. People were playing in their smartphones, like everybody was playing their smartphones. I mean, people talk about, uh, dude. I've seen so many people playing smartphones and just a tiny bit playing on Nintendo Switch, and we know that Nintendo Switch is huge over there. It is, it really is. But the mobile market, even in Japan, dwarfs the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, I mean, there are. I mean, don't you know? Earlier today, they announced, or was it yesterday? Now I don't know. But they announced a new Monster Hunter game for mobile.
Another one? Didn't they just come out with
Yeah,
one?
they did announce another one. If you go on YouTube, you can Monster Hunter Mobile. I'm pretty sure you can see it. And so yeah, Capcom is in this situation, and I just hope they don't go like, oh, and Dash, do you know what game is gonna be released at the same month close to Monster Hunter Wilds?
I don't.
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh.
That's gonna
Oh
be
well. I
it's
am
gonna be
very
a
curious.
slaughter, man.
Yeah, most likely. But I am very curious to see what gets changed, if
Mm.
anything, in for Assassin's Creed Shadows. If they redo like some things and how they can redo it, like in that time. Like they can't get rid of Yusuke. I know that. Like that Yusuke is baked in, but like, are they going to like make it like fix things to just make it align better with history, or are they
Mhm.
just maybe tone down some of the wokeness?
Mhm.
It's very hard to say, but I know it's going to get a ton of coverage when it does come.
Dude, I mean, I don't know if they changed anything. What I do know is that there is something that they have to change if they want to have a chance, and which is the release date. Because if they release it next to Monster Hunter Wilds, it's gonna be a slaughter, man. It's
Oh,
gonna be wow, bro.
true.
It's
No
gonna
way
be
they can compete with that game. No way, especially in Japan if they want like.
that, but you know what? I want them to do it. Please, Ubisoft, do it. Release it at like 1 week or before or after, or at least a few. Dude, release it better yet. Release it at the same week as Monster Hunter Wilds. Please,
Oh,
Ubisoft. I beg you. I'm gonna have so much fun analyzing the data, the numbers, and playing Monster Hunter Wilds and having a good time. Because I'm definitely gonna play that game. I mean, dude. Jesus, man, it's
yeah, I've tried getting into Monster Hunter a couple of times. Like, it's pretty like it's very like repetitive, very reliant
yeah,
on
it's very
multiplayer and
grindy.
teamwork.
It's very grindy. I'm not addicted to Monster Hunter. I like playing and see how it is. The combat system is pretty good. But when it gets to this point where you have to farm, grind, and that's where I stop playing.
Yeah.
Because also, you can call me an F word, but I don't feel good about no just going out and killing animals. No, like they're just minding their own business, and you go there and hunt them down.
I know,
I
but
feel
some of them are really evil looking.
Oh yeah. Some of them are, like for example, Nerd Gigante. That he's very scary. But even though, man, I mean, but I know it's just a video game. But bro, come on, I feel kind
Yeah.
of bad about myself. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, like maybe like some of the little harmless ones like that you used for bait. Yeah, but like, no, some of them like look like no, like, they would not show the same mercy to you.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Devil Joe, for example. And dude, whenever I went in Japan, I saw Monster Hunter T-shirts. The toys, they have a bunch of monster toys over there. Also, lots of Dragon Quest stuff. I could see this
Oh yeah,
slime
I hear Dragon
everywhere, bro.
Quest is bigger than Final Fantasy in Japan.
What? What, bro? It's even bigger than Pokemon, I would say. I mean, I don't know about in terms of sales, but you
Like
see this little
culturally.
guy, dude. You see this little guy everywhere. every fucking where, even more than Pikachu, bro. I barely saw Pikachu comparing to the slime. The
Oh
slime
wow.
is. I remember seeing a bunch of kids, playing in one of their the open the parks, next to the school. And I used to see those kids like almost every single day because I was passing by at the time they were getting out of school. And though every single one of them were holding a bag, a plastic bag with some gummies inside, and the gummies were slime shaped with
Oh,
the slime.
cute.
Dude, it's huge. And one of them had a slime backpack, you know, and you see that Dragon Quest, games on Switch, and you see a bunch of. I've bought so many Dragon Quest stuff in Japan, bro. You have no idea, But
Yeah, I'm really getting into like the series. I wasn't really like too big a fan, though I really did like the anime if you've ever seen it.
the
The
Fly,
Adventure of Dai.
Adventure of Die, the newest one, because I know that there was a
Oh yeah,
older
there was a
one.
remake. Yeah, it's technically a remake of the 90s one,
I
but
have
like
watched the '90s one, but no, just some episodes when I was a kid. I never know like
oh,
what.
oh yeah, well like this was I had no idea this anime was even a remake until I
Mhm.
watched like a bit of it. I honestly loved the characters. I loved the I thought it was great. I still need to actually finish it. I know like they added it to Netflix like a
Mhm.
couple recently, kind of. Should probably catch up on that. But I'm currently playing 5 on my phone, and I'm loving it.
Oh, Dragon Quest 5. I see. You should play. Did you play Dragon Quest 11?
Oh, I have, yeah, I do. I didn't finish, but I was playing Dragon Quest 11 on the Switch.
You should finish it, bro. It's such a good game. Also, uh, well, tomorrow is the release date for Dragon Quest 3 remake. I mean, if you may, you could check that game too.
Oh yeah,
I know it has some controversies about it,
oh yeah.
but I don't think it's gonna be a woke game at all. I mean, I just think that
I
it's
hope
a
it does well. I honestly
it's
hope
not
it does
gonna.
well, if only for Dragon Quest fans. I actually
Hmm,
got the Switch version, the
hmm.
Switch uh version that came out in 2019. So I
Oh,
think I'm
the
probably
special edition. Okay, got the Ultimate Edition. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So I'll probably play that version of the game, but I'll be open to like checking out some streams of people playing Dragon Quest 3. I know like that's probably lots of people probably going to be streaming that game.
Hmm. Yeah, you should, man. It's a great game. Dragon
Yeah.
Quest 11 is Dragon Quest 11. Was my first Dragon Quest game, and is the reason I came back to JRPGs because I spent like 15 years without caring about JRPGs at all until Dragon Quest 11 got into Game Pass, and I was still a Xbox guy at the time. I decided to give it a shot. Fell in love, bro. Fell in love.
Yeah.
Here I am right now. I have a bunch of Dragon Quest bullshit in my bag. I played like a bunch of Dragon Quest games, especially on Steam. I have a collection, like a small collection. I mean, look at this. I have this that just
Oh,
because it's a Dragon Quest stuff. So I mean, by the way, it's not mine, but I like to show it off. I like to pretend it's mine, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, you should, guys that are watching this. You guys should try Dragon Quest 11. Definitely, it's a
Yeah, it's
top tier
super fun.
JRPG. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not like super like, it feels like a retro RPG. Like there's even like a mode where you can play it like an older game, like
yeah,
2D.
you can play like it was a SNES game. Um, it's because that game, yeah, it had a. I don't know if you are aware of this, but when Dragon Quest 11 released, it had two different versions. One for the DS, another one for PlayStation 4. The one for the DS was that one, with the like the Super that looked like the Super Nintendo game.
Oh,
Then
so they just melded both versions.
in one, yes, with the Ultimate Dragon Quest 11 Ultimate, which is sorry, not Ultimate, Definitive
Switch.
Edition. Definitive Edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, they created the Definitive Edition so they could be able to release it for Nintendo Switch, and at the same time they decided to release it for Xbox too. So that's why. Oh, also the original version of it is also was also released for Steam. It's not available anymore. I had to buy it from a key reseller, but it was released at Steam. But after they released the definitive edition, they took it out from the store. But nonetheless, you guys can play the definitive edition. The only downside of the definitive edition is that it is a direct port of the Switch version, which means that the graphics are not as good as the original version, but it looks beautiful nonetheless, to be honest. And it's a great game. It has lots of quality of life features. You can accelerate battles, you can skip some stuff that you find boring or that takes too much time. I mean, there's no downsides in play Dragon Quest 11. Really, just play it. Just play it. Can't recommend that game enough.
All right. So let's see.
Dude, where's your friend, man?
Oh yeah, I thought he was always going to be a maybe. He was always going to be a maybe. He wanted to be here. I know he wanted to be here.
What's his name?
His name's Chaser.
Sorry, say again.
Chaser.
Yeah,
I have a link in the video description. Here, I'll let me just open this real quick.
Oh, Chaser. I'm seeing Chaser. I'm seeing. Yo, Chaser. Yeah, I wish you were here, man. But yeah, sending regards to you, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I know you said I only had you for an hour. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Well, I just want to thank you for the invitation. It was a nice talk. I'm passionate about video games, and I always love talking about video games.
Same, bro.
Yeah, I can tell that. That's what I was about to say. I was going to say that I can see that you are also. So I'm glad we had this conversation. It's pretty fun. Love talking about this. I'm just sorry for my English. I know it's not ideal, but I'm a self-taught person, so I'm trying my best to learn it and get better and get rid of my accent.
Your accent is beautiful. Don't ever get rid of it.
You think so, really?
Yes.
Some people complain about it, bro. Some people complain about it. Not gonna lie, but nonetheless, thank you for the compliment. Well, so yeah, make sure to check my YouTube channel.
Yep, check him out. Check out deidetected.com. Kabrutus does great work. Helping pushing culture back and making games fun for everyone.
Make sure to check my Steam Creator page. We are at almost 400K and 60. So we are very close. We are getting close to the 500,000 mark, and it's gonna be amazing. When that finally happens.
Oh man, and such a small backlash.
yeah. And also follow me on X. Follow me on X slash on Twitter. I don't know. You're gonna.
Yep. There's a link to all our X accounts in the video description.
At Kabrutus Rambo, yes. So yeah, thank you, man, for staying. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry for not being able to stay for the whole show, but I have some stuff to do. But man, it was fun. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you all for watching this video. I'm Dash Attack. This was Kabrutus. And I'll see you all next time. Be sure to check out my other content. When I stream, I also do opinion and news videos from time to time. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you later.